What if consciousness starts before you even think? Who are you really? This is my own voice. This voice is not made for AI. Please support me. My English type is this type. So I think you are appreciating me. Please support me. Let's dive into the topic of the video. Or does awareness exist beyond human? This dog feels something without words. What about minds much older than ours? Elephants remember laws like humans do. Even insect feels like awareness. Some beings only observe the world. So is consciousness only human? Or is awareness shared across all life? Let's go deeper into level of consciousness. At the lowest level, consciousness only cares about survival and fear. The brain becomes obsessed with escaping pain, danger, and death. In animals, survival consciousness controls every movement and decision. Humans still carry the same ancient survival instincts inside the mind. Fear sharpens awareness when survival becomes the only important thing. At this level, safety feels more important than truth or freedom. Every loyalty disappears when survival instincts become powerful enough. Modern fear changes shape, but the survival mind still controls people. Instinct react faster than thought because survival cannot wait to think. Deep inside, the ancient human brain still survives within all of us. Most people never escape the first level of consciousness survival, but consciousness can evolve beyond fear into something much higher. After survival comes emotion, where feelings being controlling human behavior. At this level, pain feels stronger than logic and impossible to escape. Even animals understand emotional comfort without needing language or explanation. Connection becomes powerful because emotional connection fears being completely alone. Some creatures feel emotional quietly without dramatic reactions or visible expression. E- Emotions can completely control perception when awareness stays trapped inside feelings. Elephants mourn their families deeply, proving emotion exists beyond humanity. At this level, happiness feels real, but it is disappears very quickly afterward. Emotional consciousness constantly swings between pleasure, sadness, and emotional emptiness. Even animals protect emotional bonds because connection increases survival and trust. Most people spend their entire life trapped inside emotional reaction and attachment. But eventually, consciousness begins questioning emotion instead of obeying them. After emotions, consciousness being worrying about how other people see us. People learn hiding their true emotions just to feel socially expected. At this level, fitting into the group feels safer than being different. Even animals seek social approval because belonging creates emotional security. Eventually, people stop becoming themselves and start becoming social performances. Modern social consciousness constantly compares itself against everyone else around it. Some beings naturally reject the pressure to constantly socially conform and perform. The social mind constantly changes itself just to avoid rejection and judgment. Hard behavior exists everywhere because groups increase survival and social safety. The more masked people create, the more disconnected they become from themselves. Without social approval, many people no longer know who they truly are. But eventually, consciousness begins searching for something deeper than social approval. Eventually, consciousness becomes obsessed with identity, power, and feelings important. At this level, people constantly measure themselves against everyone around them. Dominance behavior exists deeply inside both human and animal consciousness system. The ego wants superiority because it fears feeling small, weak, and invisible. Some forms of ego appear silent, cold, and emotionally untouchable from outside. Ego creates an image and desperately tries protecting it from damage or criticism. When two egos collide, understanding disappears and conflict usually begins immediately. Araichi naturally appears when consciousness becomes organized itself through status and power. The ego keeps chasing achievements because satisfaction never truly lasts for long. Behind every powerful ego usually hides fear, insecurity, and emotional fragility. Eventually, the ego realizes dominance cannot remove loneliness or inner emptiness forever. And when the ego finally weakens, consciousness becomes ready to truly observe itself for the first time. consciousness stops reacting and starts quickly observing itself. The mind slowly becomes aware that thoughts are constantly passing through it. Awareness being the moment you notice your mind without becoming trapped inside it. Even animals experience moments of silence, presence, and peaceful awareness. Thought still appears, but consciousness no longer immediately obey or every single one. Observation itself becomes deeper when the mind finally slows down and becomes still. Emotions begin flowing naturally instead of controlling every human decision and reaction. True awareness feels calmer, quieter, and much stronger than emotional chaos ever did. Awareness expands the movement. Consciousness realizes how small the ego truly was. Peace appears naturally when survival, ego, and emotional noise begin losing control. At this level, consciousness starts becoming aware of awareness itself for the first time. And beyond awareness itself, consciousness begins approaching something even deeper and unknown. Eventually, consciousness being realizing it may be connected to something far larger. Awareness starts seeing invisible patterns, connecting life, nature, and existence together. The deeper the awareness becomes, the less separated everything begins to feel. Some consciousness feels ancient, calm, patient, and deeply connected to existence itself. The universe begins looking less random and more like an intelligent flowing system. Higher awareness often arrives quietly through silence, stillness, and deep observation. At this level, consciousness stops seeing life as completely separate individual identities. Freedom appears naturally once consciousness stops fighting against the flow of existence. The mind slowly realizes it is not separate from the universe observing itself. Everything begins to feel like different expressions of the same deeper consciousness. The ego becomes quieter as awareness, expands beyond personal identity and fear, and beyond understanding itself, consciousness approaches its final transformation into pure awareness. At the final level, consciousness begins dissolving the illusion of separation completely. The ego slowly disappears, leaving behind only awareness itself watching quietly. At this stage, humans no longer feel completely separate from other living beings. Everything begins feeling connected through one endless field or awareness and existence. The mind becomes silent enough to experience peace without needing control anymore. Consciousness stops clinging to identify and start flowing naturally with existence itself. The boundary between self, nature, animals, and universe slowly disappears completely. For the first time, consciousness experiences freedom without fear, ego, or emotional suffering. The observer finally realized it was never separate from reality in the first place. At the deepest level, consciousness becomes pure awareness beyond words, labels, and identity. The universe may be simple be consciousness experiencing itself through every living thing. And maybe consciousness was never something to achieve, only something to remember. Thanks.